Another tough day at work today. Stephen Kirk, think I suck. Throw back a few wobbly pops, feeling down on my luck. And the interns ruin every show. But it's still where we want to go. It's Mike and the Minifans. 'Cause nobody had any better plans. You want to be with DC and R.A. Minahan. The host can't see, it's Mike and the Minifans.
Hello, everybody. I am PRC, filling in for Fax tonight. Welcome to Mike and the Minifans. This is August 16th, I believe. We got a great crew. Gilroy will be joining us soon. He had something he had to go to, but he'll be back soon, and he promised us he has a very hot take on a situation that's been happening this week, so I'm looking forward to that. But for now, let's get to our esteemed panel we have here. Luke, hello.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you? How are things? How's Marshall?
Marshall's never been better. I'm excited to hear what Gilroy has to say later. I'm hoping maybe he throws his hat in the ring for the
Cool. And we have a newbie here tonight. We have Chad. Hello, welcome, Chad. You're kind of new to the KMS world, but you have the so-and-so social show with Luke, and you're getting into the world. So we kind of wanted to bring you on and get your thoughts and your opinions on the whole Kirk Minahan world. So how you been liking it so far?
Happy to be here, man. Thanks. Good. We'll get into it, but I'm a Team Mick guy. So it was a banner week for Mick content and blow-ups. So yeah.
Yeah. So how, in terms of like the whole Kirk world, what's been more interesting to you so far?
I mean, it's all a bit. I like it all. This producer thing seems to be a drawn out deal here, so I think this is going to run for a bit. Yeah, I followed in on the road trip, and that was fun.
So you like all the excitement and people mixing it up and the bits and stuff like that?
It's all in good fun, man. So
Yeah.
I like it that nobody really takes it too serious.
Yeah, I mean, if you like the bits and all that, then you are definitely 100% in the right place, because it's just a fun little world to be in. So welcome to the world, Chad, and we're going to get started. If this is your I don't know how much you've watched Mike and the Minifans before, Chad, or Mike and the Minifans featuring PRC, who's filling in for Fax, he's filling in for BA, those shows. But I kind of do it. I like to break it down like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We go around in a circle. Luke speaks, and then Chad, or Chad and Luke, and then Gilroy. And then after each topic, we can kind of, if anybody else has anything else they want to say about it, we can kind of get into like a free swim, mix it up a little bit that way. So I guess we'll just pop on in right to the first topic. It's been talked about ad nauseum, but let's put a nice little bow on the whole Dakota's trip. Overall, in the grand scheme of things, Luke, would you say that it was a successful, good trip, or not a great one?
It was fine. I enjoyed the shows. The first night, I think I liked a little better, but they were both great shows. I was bothered by the basement paint. That bothered me a lot. It was like they ran out of paint. It's like something like 2 feet, and I was also just confused by the layout of the basement. Like, I know more about the house. I don't think of a house. It almost seemed more like a church or something. Like, it reminded me like a church basement. The door didn't seem very residential at all. Also, I just want to point out, I had to turn off the comments because I'm having the hardest time in the world not just screaming at Kane right now. Fucking hate
That's
Kane.
Okay, man.
So,
do what you got to do to make you happy, buddy. That's all right. Well, Chad, what do you think?
I would love to talk shit. I'm like,
it was fun.
Just on the rag, but he's got me blocked, so.
Cool.
Obviously, I gravitated with the trip towards the car ride itself. It's the content for sure. By the way, I didn't see who actually won the challenge for holding it in the longest. Did you guys see
the poop challenge?
Yeah, like I never actually saw who won that.
But I thought Justin won.
Did Justin win that?
I believe so.
Mike and Mick has Crohn's. So
Yeah, that's a tough one.
yeah, Mick lasted like 2 hours, maybe 6 hours, and then I think just the next day. They also had like wings and stuff. So
Well, I actually lived in the Dakotas for a while, so I had a blast watching them drive out there. And yeah, the road trip antics. It's a long one.
So, like, the Dakotas, are the basements usually like that, Chad? Because in like where I am in Indiana, that's a standard Indiana basement.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's just something about like in that area, those kind of basements. It's just you got to have them up just to kind of live, and you don't really care about the paint as much like that. Would you like to see, Luke, more car trips or less car trips as they go? Like, did you like the off-campus excursion? I guess out of the studio.
yeah, something keep me occupied during the week, and I just pop in every once in a while. I popped out when Mick disrespectful stream sleep, so I popped out for that. But yeah, sad.
Chad?
It's like they back to fight Colorado. So
Yeah, Eileen, it was good. I don't know what to build on that. I liked a lot of the competitions they do, the basketball and the nonsense, and the Barstool team as a whole. I guess it would depend on who's on the trip. Yeah, like the crew would make the trip content for sure.
Okay, that's a great point. Do you think, because people have brought up that Coleman would have made that trip better rather than Mick being on it, do you think Coleman, if he was on there, that he would have made that trip better?
Luke, leave and come back. Your internet is trash right now.
all right,
Leave and come
I don't
back.
know what the fuck's going on.
But
Bye,
anyways,
Luke. Yeah.
Uh,
No, actually, well, I mean, I'm Team Mick, so I really appreciated him being on the trip, and I actually thought Mike did a good job moderating, if you will. Like he's pretty cool character, kind of. I liked his offhand comments. I don't know if it would. You think it would have been spicier if Coleman went, or more calm?
the only thing I think, and this is that like Luke or not Luke, the Coleman Justin relationship had more time to build, like the in studio stuff. So I think there would have been a little bit more, rapport, as they say, between Justin and Coleman and everybody there. But I don't know if it would have made the car ride things any better or anything like that. Like I think it would have been better for the show aspect, but not necessarily like the car ride thing. I think they got enough out of the car ride, and as we'll talk about in a little bit when Gilroy gets on, is the car ride definitely the car ride definitely brought up some controversy and some stuff that we're going to talk about. So, Luke, are you back? What were you saying about the trip? Do you think Coleman would have made a difference?
Yeah, it would have been fun with Coleman. I'm just gonna try for my phone. Is that any better? By the way,
That is better.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
I'll
do.
just do it from my
You
phone.
sound.
I don't
Yeah.
know what the fuck's going on. I never have internet problems. It's annoying, but whatever. My car's fixed. Now my internet's broken, I guess. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Now I'm just like kind of pissed off. So what's going on? What are you guys doing?
We were talking about whether you thought the trip would have been better with Coleman.
Yeah. Coleman would be better. I like Coleman. I think Coleman should probably be considered for maybe the producer job. I enjoy Coleman. He's like, the thing is, Justin by himself is he's gonna kind of fall apart. I think Kirk's gonna turn on Justin like always. Justin's gonna get really frustrated. It's not a sustainable situation just having Justin in there by himself. So he's got to have somebody else draw Kirk's heat.
I want to address one situation before we move on to Tuesday. I think we put a nice little bow on Dakota there. The hair thing that people are talking about. I got a melanoma screening on a mole right here, so they had to shave the side of my head.
Yeah,
and
so you're making fun of a guy with cancer. Just to let everybody know.
I don't have cancer.
Yeah.
That's the great part. That's why everybody should get screened first and foremost, is so you can be happy and proud that you don't have cancer, and you can be happy about it. But the more jokes aside, but that is why the hair is such this way. But I think I happen to like it. I make it work. I'm a sexy individual, so I'll just do what I can with it. So I appreciate all the comments on there, but I hope this puts a little bow on that. So let's go ahead and move into
too many Speedos is in your younger years.
You like that too. It's
you wouldn't have
important to be
melanoma.
confident in who you are, Luke. So
I mean, with the situation, wouldn't you go back to the hat? You're usually rocking the hat, yeah.
no, because I think you gotta embrace it.
Okay.
Like the only way you can get past that stuff is if you just own it. So like this is me. This is my hair. I got kids free, good to go. I got to see a free Colts camp too, so that was really
Yeah.
nice. So that was great. I did
That's a
shave the
great
other half.
model.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
No, I
It's
mean
all
not like a
shaved
model for
around.
like
I just got out of the
cancer
shower. I
screenings.
coiffed it up nice.
Like if they
But-
offered me some sort of a sporting, like meet Chad Pennington, I'd probably have a vaccine right now.
Exactly. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I had to go see Adonai Mitchell play ball, so I did what I had to do.
How's
But
he looking?
I think that puts a good little bow on Monday. I'm going to go ahead, move into Tuesday. Hopefully, Gilroy gets in here because he has something very hot topic he likes to talk about with Mick. So I don't know. I'm going to wait for him. But anyways, Tuesday we had Blind Mike tweet out, I like to think a brotherhood was formed, and this was in relation to the picture that the KMS show account tweeted out. And then it just went all off the haywire there. So we had Mick coming on. Mick fires off that he didn't appreciate Justin tweeting or talking about Jess during a live stream while he was sleeping. Mick fires off, or Justin fires back that, you know, he only mentioned it twice and people have done a lot more. Mick just goes on a rant. It's still going on. I think he's calmed down a little bit. But what did you think about that whole situation when it first started, Chad? The whole Mick Justin thing. Like I know where it is now, but like when it first started,
Yeah.
did you think it would be what it is now?
Well, obviously he's a good heel, right? Like, so, like, I think there's some validity to Justin. He was basically reading all the comments. I don't think he necessarily was going out of his way to mess with Mick about Jess. But clearly that set him off. And they did offer to like have him, come up from the back seat, and he declined. And then he said he was hot about being in the back seat and this and that. So he's a wild card, So I guess I didn't see where Justin purposely went at him with it, but I was entertained by the fact that they took it there, and then obviously it combusted.
Luke?
I wouldn't have read the comment personally. I understand how that makes Mick feel. I understand it's a sensitive topic. I thought that was disrespectful to Jess, most importantly. I'll kind of get into it later, but I'm a little concerned about Justin and women.
Okay.
Justin and women?
Yeah, little problematic. There was another incident that happened today that I'll bring up later on.
Was
Well,
he in
do share.
fact
We're here.
skipping? He was in fact
Well,
skipping a couple comments here and there, though, right?
Did he freeze?
I was just trying to stick with the format of the show, but today I thought it was
All right.
interesting that Mick said, when Mick stormed out, Justin's go-to insult was vagina, which is just, that's the female anatomy. I don't understand why that would be an insult. So I don't know if there's disdain towards women. I don't know what's going on there. So PRC has this way of like looking at you when you're speaking, where
I like to soak it all in.
Yeah, that's all I had. Yeah, that's it. I thought it was interesting that his insult was vagina.
Do you think also like my internet just kind of did the thing too, so I was kind of staring at that. But do you think Luke? Do you think Justin should have even responded when Mick fired off that Jess tweet on Tuesday?
Yeah, you kind of have to. I mean, I would have responded. So it's tough. I thought Justin did handle a lot of the Twitter war pretty well. There was, I had more of my problems just with him coming at Mick during that road trip. I absolutely believe that Justin went into that road trip with the intention of breaking Mick.
Oh, okay.
So, Chad, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it got really personal. Obviously, they took it to like family level and stuff. I thought Justin's comment on the show was that he was skipping a few comments, and I thought he did. But I guess you're right. He could have thrown out the girlfriend comments altogether. But it didn't seem that serious at first, and then it just kind of just blew up. Like it got, I don't know.
But I mean, so it didn't seem that serious at first. So say you saw the Twitter rant that went on Tuesday.
Yeah.
At the end of it, Tuesday, let's say Tuesday night, did you think it was over, or who do you think came out on top on that situation?
I mean, I thought I thought Mick kind of had the upper hand, and I thought that he was proven correct on Wednesday, not to skip ahead, but for calling Justin a rat fuck when he actually did go there, he outed his burner account and he put him on blast about. By the way, I don't understand the controversy surrounding the vape pen, like it's 2024, even if it's nicotine or weed. But that was country. But he put him on blast about the Visine and the vape pen and his burner account, and kind of was rat fuckish at the end. So Mick actually was validated in that.
So yeah, you get into that. Luke, do you think like that after everything came out Thursday with the vaping and the burner and all that stuff, do you think it does justify what Justin was or what Mick was saying?
Absolutely. I also believe that Justin went through Mick's backpack. Mick's not like a messy guy. Why would he leave that stuff just laying around? If Mick says that the Visine was in his backpack, and he also said he didn't use it the entire trip, then I believe it. It's not going to be out. It's not going to be out and about. From Justin's flimsy excuse for that was, oh, it was just floating around the back of the car when I was cleaning it up. So, and also the vape thing's just ridiculous. First of all, it sounds to me like it was just one of those stupid nicotine disposable things you buy at the gas station. So like whatever, like honestly, like I'd have the problem is like if I were on that road trip, I would have to like be eating gummies and actually vaping THC the whole time to make it like 30 hours in a car.
I mean it is kind of interesting because like what do you think you can get out of, and you're saying like grown adults in 2024? What do you think you can get out of a vape pen, like finding a vape pen and tattling on somebody? It doesn't seem like there's any like ends to a mean, or means to an end there.
I'll even go like a little further. Like I would let Justin be upset about that if Mick were like vaping in his car. But it doesn't sound like he was. It sounds like Mick was only using the vape when they stopped at rest stops and things like that. So, and even then, I would be
Chad,
like, hey,
do you have any reason, any like justifiable reason?
Huh?
No, I mean I don't know why it would be. I would have been hitting the vape pen on camera and been like, yeah, I'm vaping. I mean, I don't. But if he didn't want it outed, maybe because Crohn's or ex-girlfriend, or he told people he quit, whatever. But he didn't need to go there. I think you're right, Luke. That was a bit going through the bag, man. It's a bit serious.
Justin was very quick to say like, oh, if you want me to be a rat fuck, I'll be a rat fuck. Like, that was like, he was like dying to say that the whole time. He probably already told Kirk all that. That was probably already information Kirk had. He's probably giving Kirk a daily report.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me about why. Like someone tweeted out like, I think it was Mick actually who just said Justin will do anything for like a good job from Kirk. Like, do you think that could be the only reason he looked for the vape pen? Is he's looking for something to tell on Kirk to get like a pat on the back attaboy kind of deal?
It's not even a specific Justin thing. Like Kirk always says, producers are kind of just rat fucks, and they're always trying to make sure the other guy isn't able to do anything. Like, remember, Colonnade would never hire an intern because he didn't want other people involved. And then when he was told to like go find somebody to, Kirk was like, hey, find me a producer. Colonnade was like, I'll do it. I think producers are inherently selfish people that hate competition.
Chad?
Yeah, I mean, Justin is the gatekeeper, I guess, right? He's steady for Kirk, and I made the comment to Luke last night, and I guess we get into that if you want. That well, first of all, he got really heated Thursday, like, and was basically crying, which was kind of crazy about the whole thing. I don't know why he took it so personal. Maybe it was the Mick comments about the slavery and the family and all that, but I don't. So if we have a full on producer issue here, I guess is it set in stone that Justin has to be one of the producers? Why not
I don't
a full swap for 2 new producers? You know?
see.
Why
Here's
can't
the,
Mick come in and clean house?
Yeah.
I don't think there's in any rational world where Kirk would clean house with Justin, though, right?
Right.
I think
Well, that
I
would
think
be
I think
fair.
it's Justin has to leave. I don't think Kirk would ever, because Kirk is just like he won't fire anybody in the first place, and second of all, like if he was going to fire anybody, I don't think it certainly would be Justin. But do you think, Luke, would you like to see the clean house?
I just think that's only fair. If Mick were to come into that role, he would be kind of handicapped if he
Luke
weren't
cut
allowed
out.
to pick his own staff. Do you hear me? I'm sorry. I said if Mick came into that role and he wasn't allowed to pick his own staff, he would be sort of handicapped. Like when you hire a head coach, they don't have to use the previous administration's offensive coordinator. You get to hire their own offensive coordinator. So
you think they should just bring in like a whole new team?
no, I think Mick should be allowed to hire his own sidekick.
So you're saying Mick should be in the chair, and then if Mick's in the chair, he should have the ability to fire Justin, and then come in and pick his own house.
Yeah, he should be, just like anybody comes in, he should be able to choose his own staff.
Why
Otherwise,
does
the staff's always going to be competing against him.
But why does Justin? I mean, Justin's probably been the most loyal person out of the whole show. Like, why does he get to?
Yeah, right. But Justin's also shown that he has to be aggressive and passive aggressive towards Mick. It's not Mick that made it. Like, Justin's made it a hostile work environment that Mick can't possibly function in. That's a Justin thing. That's not a Mick thing.
But don't you think it should be a Kirk thing?
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously Kirk's making all the decisions, but
I mean,
just think that would be.
Yeah, but I guess my point is like why I don't know why it should be a Mick. I mean, I understand the philosophy behind why you should have it a Mick thing, but I don't. Chad? Do you think Mick deserved to have that kind of power to wield over the show and its direction?
Probably not. But I just meant like, yeah, and I'm not fully serious at advocating for the toss out of Justin. Obviously, like I said, he's really steady for Kirk and been there a long time. But just the fact that Mick made it clear that he can't work with Justin, but he would want the role. So it's like if that's really your guy, just like Luke's saying, Mick, like okay, give Mick the job and have him pick an assistant or such. As just put it out there is all. Obviously, it's not going to happen. So does Kirk make the decision on that, or does Justin kind of get to pick who works with him? How's that work, PRC?
Kirk. In reality, Kirk makes all the decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think that Kirk makes all the decisions. Luke, what is this? What is this bit?
What bit? You're cutting out, or maybe I'm cutting out. It's probably me. I don't know what bit you're talking about, though. Chad seems to be moving.
Luke, what is this? What is this bit? What are you pulling a fast one on me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was a comment.
I don't know what the bit is.
Yeah.
I think I guess I'm not the greatest actor of all time. I'm just stupid. But
is the bit that my name is Kane is Gable? Because I can change that and be more serious.
Okay.
Is that a bit? That's just an expression of an opinion.
Yeah. So I don't really consider that a bit. I mean, he's probably not gay. He's got a kid and stuff. He's just, it's funny because his name is Kane is Abel and it kind of rhymes with Abel.
I got that part. Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's move into. So Wednesday was basically we had Drips in the office, talking about their stuff. We had what might possibly be the best impression of all time was John and Warren's impression of Steve. What do you think about? I guess first of all, John's impression, Chad, and have you heard it?
Yeah, it was good.
It was like spot on. First of all, what do you think about John's impression of Steve? And as a new person, I'm really interested to hear your opinion. Like, what do you know about Steve enough to know the whole Steve story, or?
I honestly, I really don't, sadly, but I thought it was. I saw the clips and I thought it was really good. I was cracking up.
Yeah, like I guess I'll give you a little bit. Like Steve has been a fan of Kirk forever, and he like the WEI days came into the show. Last year he just had like just like a meteoric rise. All of a sudden he was in the studio every day. He was making videos. He had the consistency podcast, which has been a little bit more inconsistent as of late. So, but it made a little comeback, much to the delight of a few, and but that's kind of how he came in, and then he came out in a very same meteoric fashion. He had this beef with like Cinema Lords, and he was starting to get a lawyer to come into this and get all out of it, and then he just took like a hard exit out of the show, and now he's kind of back in it to trying to get back into the world. So I guess we'll get into, but that's a little brief history on Steve. And Luke, you kind of have the history on Steve. Do you want that? Do you like this whole Steve getting in the world, arguing with Jeff kind of thing?
I don't really get what Jeff's doing. It is funny though. But I would rather just have John and Warren play the part of Steve from Gloucester whenever we kind of have the itch for it, because that's way more entertaining. Steve from Gloucester sucks. Fake Italian, fake Sicilian. What do you always do? Oh, you're breaking my balls. And they always do like the fucking, yeah, shut the fuck up. And he likes that Giada De Laurentiis. She's a fucking bimbo idiot. Peas in his fucking ziti, moron. So that's what I got on Steve.
He did spell the paisan incorrectly, according to my Italian friends when he texted John. So that's kind of a thing to it. Yeah. So Chad, do you just a little bit you've seen of Steve so far? Would you like to see more Steve? What's your first impressions on Steve in the universe?
I'm just trying to catch up. I was getting on his Twitter earlier today. I saw him. Didn't he have a blow up with somebody? But
Cinema Lords is a great guy.
Yeah,
Cinema Lords is awesome. Like I don't get the beef. But go on, Steve. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
No, I really don't. I'm trying to form an opinion there. Obviously, pro Cinema Lords, pro Drips for sure.
Is that your favorite show of the new ones?
I like Drips, but obviously I've been an Open Borders guy for my guy Luke here, and I watched that one and just the regular show with Kirk. By the way, not to jump ahead, we'll get to that, but there was not actually a Beyond Average podcast today, was there? So that was a bit of a letdown.
What would you like to hear on it? just more of this.
Just where he stood. Like he's done, and I thought he was gonna make like his stump speech. You know what I mean? And kind of just didn't happen.
Luke, are you itching for the Beyond Average podcast? Do you want the bow on it from Mick? Do you want the chaos to continue?
I want whatever Mick wants. I'm just happy if Mick's happy. And so far, I've been enjoying things. The number one thing that I'm most concerned about, though, is Mick's mental health. I want to make sure Mick's okay. So,
I mean, it was interesting that he came back today after he said he wasn't going to come back. That was kind of the most interesting thing to me.
I'm a little concerned there might be some mania going on right now. That kind of felt like driving around, not knowing, being a little crazy. As a crazy person myself, I recognize when crazy people do crazy things, and I'm a little concerned. I'm hoping that he actually had like an appointment in Boston or something, and then he wasn't just driving around, but I'm concerned he might have been.
Yeah. Chad, do you think Mick is okay, or do you think something's going on? Do you think he needs to take some time to kind of just think it over and
I hope
get
he's
better?
okay. I hope he's okay. I think he's all right. I mean, he's worked himself up like this before. And Kirk actually addressed that on the show. So it could be a bit, or part of it. Like, certainly it was something to see him today. Because last night's tweet was, "That's it, I'm done, never again," and that lasted less than 12 hours. He went back in there. So, I don't know if that's. I hope he's all right for sure. Above all else, but I don't think that's the end of it. Like him just walking out like that. He's usually got something to say. And I don't know that he got everything across that he wanted to when he came in today.
Yeah. No, someone asked a great question. Where is Gilroy? And
That is good.
it is 8:30, and the man has not showed up yet.
I was
I
afraid that
think
my
this is
name might be keeping him away, so I changed that a second ago.
no. I think
Yeah.
he's coming on, but oh, speak of the freaking devil!
There he
We were
is.
just here. We go, ladies and gentlemen. Patrick Gilroy.
I am so sorry I'm late, guys. The fundraiser ran late, but I promise you it was for a good cause. The children of Wyndham, my son included, raised a lot of money to get them new football uniforms tonight. So again, I apologize, but I'm here, and I can't wait to talk to you guys.
That was fantastic. Thank you for showing up. It was 8:30. I told everybody if you didn't show up by 8:30, we were going to start the Gilroy eulogy and just roast the shit out of you. But you're here, so thank you for showing up. I'm glad the kids are. We talked about it a little bit before with Mick and Justin. That's the big topic that's been kind of dominating everything. I mean, it essentially dominated the week. But you, sir, you said you had a hot take about the whole Mick Justin situation that you wanted to address. So I think we're going to let you have the floor.
I mean, my problem with Justin is I feel like a piece of shit saying this because Justin allowed my show, he and Coleman together, allowed my podcast with my fiance to get on the network, and you know, I send them the link every week. Now it's Justin, John from Scranton send you guys the link, and we put it up, and the growth that we have seen because we're accepted and allowed into the Minifandom is something that I don't take lightly. Okay, like I don't take it lightly, so I feel like a piece of shit and a bag of balls for saying this. But I went back and I listened to the show that I did when Kirk allowed me into studio right after he brought my show on the network. And to a man, yeah, I don't want to put everything based on the Twitter reaction, but the Twitter reaction from the Minifans was pretty fucking positive. Like in a world where there's a lot of negativity, the overall reaction was, we want to see him back. He was a good third chair. We like this. And as part of that show, I played basketball in high school. I played in 2 years of college. I wasn't very good. All right. I'm a chubby white guy from New England, but I was good enough to play. And at 44 years old, I still play in my men's league here in town. So as part of that show, it was right when basketball first came out. And Kirk flat out asked me, he said, do you want to be a part of the team? I said, damn straight I do. Then we had a joke because the first game was the next Thursday. Coincidentally, I was traveling for the biggest candy show that a lollipop salesman has all year long the next week. And he said, can you make it? I said, I can't promise you because the show ends Thursday. The game's Thursday night. I don't think I can make it, but I promise you I will be there no matter come hell or high water for the other 5 out of the 6 games, all the practices, whatever you need. So while I'm at the candy show, I am participating. At this point, Justin and Coleman put me into a group chat with the whole team. And we're going back and forth, and it's like a little obnoxious. There's like a lot of stuff going on. These guys have way too much free time on their hands, but it's going back and forth all day long. I'm at the candy show, and guys are asking me, like, what's it like? So I'm sending videos and pictures, and here's my booth, and fat guys, you want to go over here? Here's the Doritos booth, and we got M&M's Mars over here. Like, they saw it all. So Justin was not only had visibility to it, he was an active participant in the conversation. He knew that I wasn't going to be able to make that Thursday game. And the son of a bitch on the Friday show had the balls to say to Kirk, you know who I'm disappointed in? It's Gilroy. Not because he didn't make it, but because he wasn't cheering us on Twitter. There was no online presence. No, Gilroy was on a fucking flight desperately trying to make it back to make that first game. So then the next day it comes up as, okay, we've got to practice on a Saturday. Well, I've got my 2 kids, but I said, you know what? I called my ex-wife, who is the world's biggest cunt, and I said, you have to take the kids because I need to go to basketball practice. So she actually agreed for the first time in 5 years of divorce to take the kids when I wasn't responsible for them. I'm telling you, 15 minutes after she took the kids, I got a text from Justin. Kirk doesn't want you here. Okay. So I say to Justin, oh, that's just a bit. He doesn't think I'm going to show. I'll be there. Then an hour later, I get a text. I'm halfway there at this point, and it's an hour and a half from my house. Get a text from Coleman, who I'm a little bit cooler with because he's a little bit more mainstream and normal than Justin. And Coleman calls me, and he says, look, Gilroy, we'll sort this out. Kirk doesn't want you here. And it all stems back to, if you go back and you listen to the show that I was on, when Justin said on the air with Kirk, I'm disappointed in Gilroy. He didn't support us on Twitter. Kirk said, fuck Gilroy. I didn't think he was going to show up to begin with. He's off the team. And without Justin interjecting there needlessly, I would have enjoyed the season with the team. And as we know, not every team member made it to every game. So to hold me to a higher standard and to have this false narrative that I'm not a Minifan or I don't follow the show or listen to the show, it's all Justin based. This guy is a good producer, and I think he's good for the show. I like Justin. Justin sometimes gets himself too wrapped into the idea that he is the storyline and that we care about Justin and we don't care about Kirk and we don't care about the world that Kirk has created. Kirk has created this world at WEI. He made Chris fucking Curtis a star. Think about that. He made Chris Curtis a star. That is impossible to do. And he did it. He made the boring Ken Laird a star. He can make Justin a star. He can make Coleman a star. The brilliance of Curtis and Laird was they knew when to take the foot off the gas pedal and let Kirk run the show. And I think Justin's done a really good job of making himself be relevant, create a name for himself, and thrive in this world. But if he doesn't dial it back a little bit, they're going to find themselves in a position right now. Who'd have thought Kirk Minahan would struggle to have a second producer? Who'd have thought that Kirk Minahan would live in a world where Mick has said, I got to step away? What? Like what world is this? But the common denominator here is Justin. I think Justin can thrive in this world, but Kirk's going to have a sit down, a heart to heart, and say, dude, like you got to dial it back 20%.
Yeah.
Because
no, and I totally agree. Yeah, and like, yeah. So like, I think
I had to get off.
No, I know.
No,
And
great.
you said, and I
Wonderful.
promised you that
Yeah.
you would have your minute or a couple minutes to get that off your chest when you came on. So that was me fulfilling my promise to you. So we got a lot of comments saying that was a little bit long, but in fairness, I said Gilroy was going to get his time to get that off his chest because he's been waiting for it for too long. So I appreciate you getting off that. And so, do you think? And I'll ask you this real quickly before I move on to ask Luke and Chad. But so the stuff that happened on the show today and yesterday, where it came out that Justin found the vape and Justin is just spilling the beans on the burner and everything like that. So you're saying that what happened to you is a pattern.
Yeah, it happened to Coleman. It's happened to Mick. It happened to Gus. Like, this is not a one-off. This guy loves to stir it up, but he stirs it up by throwing other people under the bus. And we were all in high school once. This is a high school trick. Like, you can get yourself a level of acceptance and popularity doing this a couple of times. But if you do it one too many times, you wind up being the butt of the joke. And Justin, I think, is one person away from being the butt of the joke because he's alienated. Think about the people. I have been a Minifan since before he was on Barstool. Like, I worshiped the guy. I worked at EI with him. I wanted to be him. Like, I was working overnight shifts while he was the star of the morning show. He was my idol. Like, this is a guy that has created multiple worlds multiple times, and people really, they gravitate to his world.
Yeah.
And Justin has pushed out. He's now pushed me out. He's pushed Coleman out. He's pushed Mick out, and he has pushed Gus out. How many more people is this guy going to push out before Kirk realizes, loyalty only goes so far?
Yeah, Luke, do you agree? Do you think do you think Justin is one new producer coming in that he does the same thing to just it's everybody's tired of it, everybody's over it?
But yeah, I don't. Like I was kind of saying earlier, Justin creates, and Gilroy just confirmed all this. Justin creates sort of a hostile work environment, which is what we were talking about with Mick and why Mick's unable to thrive in that environment. So I don't know. Like Justin went on mental leave a couple years ago. The problem is, like I said kind of earlier too, if there's not a second person, Justin's kind of screwing himself by forcing all these people out. The heat lands on him, and he does not do well under pressure. Once Kirk gets mad at him, he starts missing live shows. He'll start calling out. Things are going to start going, and eventually he's going to go on mental health. So,
Now, Luke, you're right. And think about the best we've ever heard from Kirk was when Chris Curtis and Ken were thriving and they knew their roles, and when Justin and Coleman were thriving, they knew their roles. Like I preferred when Justin and Coleman were thriving together. I preferred that duo over Cullinane. Like I did because they brought an additional dynamic. It's part of Kirk's brilliance of the world building. And when those two were right, it made a different dynamic in the show. It made it more fun, more entertaining. There's another level there. And the problem that you get with that is sometimes the producer or producers feel like they are truly one of the stars of the show or an equal to. And I've seen it happen in radio. I've been doing this for 25 years, guys. A good on-air personality always lets his producer chime in, always lets him be part of the show, always says, and a big thank you to so-and-so behind the glass, because you want to make your producer feel good. But if you make them feel too good, sometimes they get too comfortable and they want to be the star. They don't realize they're not the star, and it never works out well at the end of the day.
Justin or Chad, you just started and you've seen some of the producers. Did you start with Coleman and Justin? Have you started? Did you do the Cullinane or anything like that?
No, I don't think so.
you've been
So you haven't gone back into that
Yeah,
yet.
like I've been following a little bit, but
Did you like the chemistry between Coleman and Justin? And do you think the two producer chemistry is good?
I don't know why. I mean, does it have to be two in studio? I don't see why one.
I mean, that's
be,
what I'm
like,
asking. Yeah,
one can't be remote. Yeah, I mean, I think Kirk drives it really, and Gilroy makes a good point that Kirk can drive it regardless, and so this does seem to more evidence of Justin gatekeeping and being a little rat fuckish, perhaps.
So yeah, and that kind of brings it into like Fridays, the last, today's show, like when Justin or John, excuse me, said like he officially said I want to put my hat in the ring. I want the job, and I want to do it. And Kirk was like, I don't know, we'll see, we'll figure it out. And like with everything that's happened with Mick and Coleman dropping out, and Gus doing Gus stuff, and going on the unnamed show the day before and saying, I can't find anybody to work for me, and then John saying I want somebody to work for me. Like Gilroy, what do you think is going? Kirk better than anybody. What do you think is going on in his mind right now with all these producers switching chairs and everything like that?
Look, Kirk is probably the most brilliant radio entertainment mind I've ever been around, and I've been around. I worked with Felger at 890 ESPN in Boston for 3 years. I worked with Maserati. I worked with Glenn Ordway. Nobody has been able to, again, build worlds, build entertainment. One of the big fundamental fights I used to have with Kirk was he would go on the morning show and say, nobody wants to hear sports all day long. Da-da-da. But I was doing nights, so I had to recap the games that just took place, and would get into these fights, and they'd grab clips from my show and be like, what an asshole this guy is, what an idiot. And that was part of the dynamic. He's brilliant at what he does. And it led to my longevity and popularity at the time at EEI, because Kirk built it and we never really worked together. I was the polar opposite. I was a $20 an hour part-time guy, but the influence that Minahan had on the morning show had a direct impact on what happened between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. on the same station. That's how awesome he is. That being said, nobody is above reproach. And I think Kirk, you mentioned Justin has had his own mental issues, psychological issues, and that is not something that we make light of, because I have had them too. We've all struggled. Kirk has struggled. We know his story. That being said, I think Kirk eventually, if there isn't another guy that comes up through the bullpen, so to speak, through the pipeline, where Kirk has always felt good that there's a dozen guys, knocking at the door, chomping at the bit to be a part of the world, be a part of the show, take less money to build their name through the Kirk Minahan world. Right now, I don't see that happening.
I would agree. Like just the fact that we're all four on this show on a Friday night just goes to what you're saying about Kirk building the whole world. Like there's no other show like in the Barstool world or any, like you don't see like ESPN or any of those things that have fans running a show on a Friday night. So like to your point, that is fucking awesome.
Let me tell you
Luke,
this. Let me tell you this. So tonight,
well, hold on. Let me get to Luke first, real quick, because Luke.
Go to Luke.
I'm gonna get to Luke, and then I'll go to Chad. But we got you, Gilroy. Don't worry.
People love Kirk.
You're getting in you. So you don't have as fans. We're just people watching. Gilroy's been on the inside. On the outside, what does it seem like to you, Luke? Do you think Kirk is kind of contemplating just having Justin as the single producer, or do you think he wants to open up the world to see who more people are?
I mean, he'll work with what he has available. It's just like I've talked about tonight, Justin gatekeeps position, and it's hard to get anybody else to go in there. That's really it. I'd like to give the rest of my time to Gilroy.
I don't need it. I just wanted to say, when I was wrapping up the fundraiser tonight, one of the guys that I know well at the football thing was a ball breaker. He's like, well, why is the MC leaving early? And I said, well, I got to go. I'm going on Kirk Minahan's network tonight. And when I tell you I'm in a little town called Windham, New Hampshire. We are, 60 miles outside of Boston. And again, Kirk has not been on the air here in Boston in almost 6 years. Every guy, and there was 200 men in there, when they heard Kirk Minahan, I got a standing ovation. They told me to get the fuck out, like go see Kirk, like go do what you got to do for Kirk. People have an allegiance in New England to Kirk, and the brilliance is he has been able to take that New England allegiance and somehow translate it to Barstool, where it's becoming not only regional, but it's becoming national. And sometimes I think the producers will be better served having almost going through like a history lesson and fully understanding who it is that they're working for and what influence he has. Because if you can get through, like nobody's been able to get through beyond 2 years. You know what, from the start to this show to where we are now, within 2 years, there's always a reason why somebody bags out. But if somebody sticks with Kirk for the long term, Kirk's going to make them a star. Like,
I agree.
He'll make anybody. Again, he made Chris Curtis a star. If you can make a walking, talking monkey like Chris Curtis a star, you can make Justin a star, Coleman a star, Dave a star. You can make anybody a star. So, like, put up with the bullshit, put up with the small money, like, do whatever you got to do, but suck it up for 3 or 4 years. You will become a star because of this man. And nobody seems to want to grasp that, because nobody wants to work for it these days.
Chad, you're a Barstool guy. I'm assuming, are you a big Barstool guy? Did you come from, I know you came from Cards with Luke, but did you come from like Barstool as well?
Yeah, been following Barstool a long time.
Do you agree that like this show seems like a great way to like not only reach like a huge audience throughout like the Barstool world, but the world? And like, so that the reason I asked that is because you know that Jonathan Sandos fella?
No.
Oh,
no, sorry.
Okay, he's a new guy that just put his hat into the ring for producer. So Chad, I'm asking, would you like as a new fan coming in, would you like to have somebody from Barstool who has a producing pedigree, who knows how to do all the buttons, or would you rather have somebody just who knows the KMS world more as the producer?
I think I could go either way. Like, I think Gilroy's bang on that Kirk can drive it regardless. I actually agreed with a lot of what Gaz had to say about Bosco and Mick, and he was throwing out a lot of takes about it today. I think it could be. Barstool's been wildly successful regardless, and Minahan's been successful. I don't see any scenario where they can't make it work. They just got to,
Yeah.
like you said, find guys that want to grind and actually want to really
Yeah.
be there.
Luke, what about you? Would you want to see a more KMS minded producer, or just someone who you know could do the job and keep it going?
My guy's John from Scranton or Mick, one of the two. That's it.
Luke? What do you think is the issue that's holding back?
John?
Yeah, John and Kirk, because it seems like
Kirk
John
keeps
wants
moving
it
the
now.
goalpost on him. John said today, he was like, I'll take. Kirk was like, he doesn't want to work for that money. And John was like, I'll do it. And Kirk's like, all right, well, now the money's $10,000. So I don't know. John's the right guy. Like, it was somebody said on Meeting the Minds last night, what's holding John back is Jay. So, and you guys, you probably don't know who Jay is, but
I'm aware of Jay. I don't know his whole history. Gilroy,
But-
would you want to throw your? I mean, I guess that's the end of the Friday show because we're kind of getting into a little wrap up here. But just real quick, would you ever want to throw your hat in the producer ring if it came up? Do you think you would want to do something like that, or do you think you'd be more suited? Do you want to do the content role or the lollipops? Who knows?
So I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, lollipops pay the bills. Like, it's done it for 12 years, and it's not gonna stop. Kirk probably couldn't pay me what I make annually selling lollipops. It is recession proof. It is pandemic proof, and I do okay with it. I do radio, do podcasts because I love it. If Kirk needed somebody to come in and be a producer once a week for free, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I'd be a third chair, be a producer, whatever, part-time for free. I don't want his $40,000 or $50,000 a year to do it full-time, but I would do whatever he needed me to do to show him how much I respect him and how much I love being a part of the world. So yeah, twice a month I'll come produce, and I'll do a better job than Mick could do, or that Coleman could do, or that Justin could do. Cullinane, I really think is talented, so that would be 50-50. But I could do it blindfolded. I've been doing it for a long time. I just don't want to do it full time.
So you're willing to throw your hat in the ring for a couple times a month to help out?
I throw my hat in the ring just to help out, to be a part of the world, to be an excuse to be part of the show. Like, I love this. I'm going to listen to the show anyways. So if I can be a part of it occasionally, why the hell not?
Cool. Luke, would you be down with a rotating cast of producers filling in like Gilroy, other people, or would you like to see one person settled in there?
Yeah, I'm fine with whatever. I don't really.
Chad?
I like John. I'm a big John guy. I thought he was fantastic today.
Cool.
I wouldn't mind seeing him in there
John
more.
clapping is like my favorite thing. Right
That
now.
was-
Oh my God, I don't think I've ever seen somebody so happy. Did you see that, guys? Did you
Absolutely.
like he was just so happy that was going on, and like that to me was kind of like what made me want to hire John. You know, is just like how enthralled he was that was going. You know, he was just, you can tell he's bought into the world. I mean, we already knew that, but that just kind of like solidified in my mind. That just made him so happy. So it's getting towards 9. Menner's probably going to take some calls, rip on us. That's fine. That's what Menner's does, and all Menner's fans. So we'll just live with it and love it. Everybody's happy. I want to thank everybody for coming on. I'm just going to ask one more question. Just yes or no, the Montante golf outing looks like it is on its last leg. He said the golf course has just stopped communicating with him. I don't know why. I couldn't imagine it's been anything that Montante did. He just, he strikes me as just a super organized, efficient man. So I can't imagine a world where he screwed up or dropped the ball in that instance. But so just to send it off, we'll just go around. We'll go Chad, Luke, Patrick. Do you think the golf tournament is happening? Chad.
No.
Luke?
I think Elizabeth Warren is creaming herself right now at the abortion that is that golf tournament. Dead on arrival.
All right. And Gilroy, you got to try to follow that up now with that shit.
Can't do that. Montante, though, he always finds a way to come through. So I think he'll figure. It might not be the original plan, but there will be a plan.
And last question, I guess I do have one more question. I put this in my notes. I was hoping you came a little bit earlier. Between Coleman, I guess you already answered that with Cullinane. So we'll go Coleman, Mick, or John, or Justin. Would you hire any of them to be a lollipop apprentice?
No.
Not a damn.
Hey,
Not a damn
Gilroy,
one.
real talk though.
People think it's an easy job, but I'm telling you, It takes skills to make six figures, 50 cents at a time. None of those guys have those skills.
Yeah, the lollipop business ain't as sweet as it sounds, I guess. So that was a
Gilroy,
cheesy
somebody's
line.
made $20,000 50 cents at a time. Let me know.
They say the road to wealth starts one penny at a time. But like, I just want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. It's getting towards 9, so we're gonna wrap it up. Gilroy, thank you for hopping on. You saved yourself there because I was about to just stop it right there and just roast on you, no showing that shit. So thank you for showing up, Chad. I appreciate you coming on. It's always nice to have new people. I know that, like, you know, it's tough sometimes because a lot of people aren't. They like you in the world, but they want you to know everything, like jumping off right away, and it's tough. But all I can tell you, man, is just keep going through it. Just keep learning as much as you can, get into the world as much as you can, and they'll get on to you as much as you want. So you know, they'll come around just as long as you show you're into it and you're trying, man. So I appreciate you coming on, and I really appreciate you sharing your insight as a new Minifan.
I look forward to getting roasted on Menace and otherwise, yeah.
Get used to it, man. That's this world. The trolls are just gonna light you up. They'll light me up after this too. That's life, you know. Say love you. So, but I want to thank everybody for coming on. Appreciate it, Gilroy, Chad, Luke. That's it for tonight. Next week, BA will be back, so everybody can breathe a sigh of relief. Everybody's favorite host, QB1, BA will be back in business. QB3, myself, will be gone. But thank you guys, and great show.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.